Well, Brock, pleased to go back down to Peoria just a couple days before we'll be down there all next week. Can't wait for that. Generally the best week of the year. But Bryan Woo already there, Mariners pitcher, and he's kind enough to take a few minutes with us right now. Bryan, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, guys. How we doing? Thanks for having me.
I was thinking about where you were 1 year ago today. You had made all of, 16 minor league appearances. You'd never pitched higher than, high A ball, I believe? What has the last 365 days been like for you?
Yeah, it's been pretty crazy. Looking back last year, first camp, heading into it, kind of didn't really know what to expect. Knew I wasn't, going to make the team out of camp, so I really just tried to come in and enjoy it and take it all in, meet everybody new. And then this year, obviously, coming in a whole different side of it, being part of the team and kind of knowing everybody a little bit, but still trying to get to know all the new guys and any new staff or whatever it is. So, but yeah, we're having a good time so far.
Biggest lesson learned in those 365 plus days was what?
Baseball is incredibly hard no matter what level you're playing it at. It's a long season. Got to just find ways to enjoy it, enjoy your teammates, enjoy the people around you, enjoy whatever it is, your off days. It's a grueling game. You got to find ways to just enjoy the whole process.
I'm not sure I believe you. I'm looking at your numbers, and your numbers are better at the pros and the majors than they are at virtually any other level of baseball you pitched at. Better than they were in college, better than they were in single A. What do you mean this game is hard? It seemed like it was pretty easy for you.
As soon as I say it's not, then I'm going to be in a tough couple of ways. But
can you explain how that happened, though? Seriously, I mean, I just spent some time looking at your numbers last night. Freshman year in college, an 8.75 ERA, right? The next year was like 6.11. You missed some time in there. I know you had surgery, etc. How do you go from being a guy with an ERA over 6 in college to a guy who comes up and has a lot of success in Major League Baseball? Where did that switch turn on?
Honestly, I think after getting surgery after my junior year, so getting drafted and coming to Arizona, spending time in rehab, kind of just reworking my mind, my body, everything, working with the staff here. It gave me some time to get some new perspective on the game a little bit, on myself, work on things that maybe I hadn't been able to work on in the past. And I think it just gave me a really good foundation heading into pro ball. And you're always trying to learn, always trying to grow, but they have such a good staff here in Arizona, getting through rehab, and a lot of good guys to do it with. So try to just take as much of it as I could and build off of it best I could.
Bryan, if we were to have studied your Cal Poly tape, would we have seen the same arm slot, seen the same delivery, seen the same mechanics back in the day?
I think the mechanics maybe are a little similar. You definitely, physically you always try to get a little bit stronger every year and, understand your body a little bit better. But I think it's more of the mindset and kind of the, competitive approach and more to the mental side than it is the physical side.
Who did you work with, in the Mariners staff to help you with that?
Adam Bernero and Stephanie Hale are two of our main mental skills coaches, performance coaches, I guess you could say. And they were here a decent amount in the off season, during season. So was kind of just able to have, endless amount of conversations with them on a number of different things, but kind of just, breaking down different approaches and, my process and how I look at the game and, all types of different things. But it was kind of just good to have them here, bounce ideas off of them. And I still, talk to them a lot today. So, they've been unbelievable.
So if we don't rewind back all the way to February and we just rewind, let's say, to August and September, how did your body and your arm feel going through a journey you had never been through before.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely hit a wall there later in the season. I mean, yeah, it's a long year. It's my first, full season as a professional. It's the most innings I've thrown. So, yeah, that was definitely a big learning curve, was just kind of understanding how long the season is, what it takes to get through a whole season. And what really matters is being ready to go, at the tail end of September and making a run into the playoffs. So, yeah, definitely learned a lot from it, and was able to gain a lot of knowledge from experience and also just other guys and kind of how they do it. And, over the years, what's worked for them, and you kind of just pick and choose and find little things and see what works for you. So last year was, learning on all types of different ways.
Well, I would imagine, we're talking to Bryan Woo, by the way, we're here on Seattle Sports on 710. I would imagine there's two guys right in your rotation with you who had just gone through the same thing, right? And Logan and George. What have your conversations been like with them, and how have they been helpful for you?
Yeah, no, they've been amazing. To have guys like that have, already have so much success, but also be so young, and they're not that far removed from kind of where you are or where I am now. It helps a lot. And I think when you have guys that are older, seasoned veterans, they might be a little bit more removed from just the experiences that you go through as a rookie or, a younger guy on a team. So it's really, really nice to have those guys here, and you kind of just have ongoing conversations about a number of different things, whether it's a mental approach to a game, pitches, grips, routines throughout a year. It's a number of different things, but everybody on our staff is so open and, easy to get along with. And, I'm pretty thankful to have them.
Who do you have the most in common with of that group?
We all have a number of different things. I mean, I would say we're all honestly pretty different, but in a way we get along, we all get along really well. But I mean, Bryce and I obviously have gone up through the system together. We got drafted together, got to play a little bit together, and then obviously debuting last year pretty close to each other. So having him, kind of by my side to be able to do it with, and you're going through so many of the same experiences that it's a lot easier when you have someone else that's going through the same thing. So, it's been a ton of fun to be able to play alongside him.
Is that why you guys have cheese nicknames for each other?
Oh, God.
What is the deal with it? I don't know the details. I've been told there's something, but I don't know too many details about what is the deal with the cheese?
I think it got blown way out of it started with just Louis being the oldest, the most service time, kind of the leader of our staff. We used to always just call him Big Cheese. And throughout a season, you got a lot of time sitting on a bench watching games, and conversations just go every which way, and started just assigning different names to everybody on the staff. So
what cheese are you?
It got blown way out. It wasn't even like a.
What cheese are you?
Whiz.
As of right now, I'm Parmesan cheese.
Kind of sprinkle
I'm looking for an upgrade.
Yeah, you kind of sprinkle that on at the end. Is that right? Like it's sort of an after cheese that you put on top of the pasta.
It's more like the size, so like the physical size.
Oh, physical size of the cheese.
So Parmesan is, it's pretty small, so it's small.
Great.
So I got the least amount of service time, and there we go, Parmesan.
Yeah, you mentioned those other guys, and I'm just looking at them, and you guys are all so different in so many different ways. Bryce was on with us last week, Bryan, and he told us when the season ended, he just took a couple weeks off, started to throw football. He works with tread. We know that George Kirby just talks to his 9-hole net and doesn't throw to anybody. We know the Logan's got his big old bag with all sorts of wackadoo stuff in it, and let's see. Luis is down fishing. That's how he builds his dexterity and his forearm strength is with great fishing. So what does Bryan Woo do when this off season began? How much time did you take, and where do you go to continue to grow and develop?
This year was a little different than past off seasons, just because how long the season was and how much I threw. I took pretty much all of October off, all baseball and like lifting and any physical activity. Try to just enjoy time with family, vacation a little bit, and then beginning November started throwing and lifting again. But I mean, every off season looks a little bit different. I don't really have like a place right now that I'm consistently training at or whatever it is. They do a good job of giving us workouts and throwing programs and stuff through the Mariners. So I kind of just follow that, and then wherever I'm going in the off season, then I kind of just take that with me. So I try to take a couple trips throughout the year and visit family and kind of do things I don't really get to do during the year. And then, but it's nothing too crazy. I'm definitely not fishing as much as Louis is.
Were you able to block out some of the trade talk and rumors and, any of that type of stuff this off season?
Yeah. I mean, that stuff is, it's so far out of your control. So I really try to stay off social media as much as I could this off season. If it did happen, then it is what it is, and if not, then great. But I mean, I have absolutely zero control over it, so try to just let it go and enjoy my off season. Dive into my work and whatever happens. But definitely happy to be back.
So let me get one question here about the upcoming season, and that is sort of, I think, the biggest question folks would have for you, which is, what's the plan for lefties this year moving forward? You came out so dominant last year, especially against right-handers. How do you bring the lefties up to the same spot?
I think it's just continuing to do, what I did against righties was really just not try to overcomplicate anything. I think after the first couple of weeks, started hearing, like the differences, and I think in my mind, I tried to do too much against lefties, and I kept my approach pretty simple against righties. So I think really trying to simplify my approach against both is going to give me, the best chance of success. Obviously, we're working on things here and all off season on, off speeds and secondary pitches for strikes and, all types of different things. But I think when it comes down to it, it's really just doing the small things and doing the simple things at a high level.
Logan's got to be the blue cheese, right? Kind of moldy, little funky, different from all the other cheeses. You can tell him I said that. That's fine. You can just tell him I said that. He's got to be the blue cheese. Yeah.
I'll let him know.
Real funky, moldy smelling blue cheese. Bryan, we really appreciate it, man. This is great. Thank you so much for spending the time with us. Continued good luck this year, and we'll talk soon.
All right. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.